Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Oh man, there's some toothpaste. All right, that's crazy. Got some toothpaste all up in the grill. All right, I woke up this morning to I had 150 emails. All right, so look, and last night's live stream got kind of jacked up, so I'm gonna do this so I can send it out. So the first thing is hustlerskungfu.com is dead. Now, what does this mean? It means that I can think of it as a process because essentially I was paying for that website where I make it free and you can still have access to your courses. I sent out an email this morning because there's a whole bunch of people who were like, hey, the courses are still there. You can still access them. Your login works. And I'm going to tell you why I did this. Because we're going to do the same thing to becoming a corporate citizen today. One of the reasons I did this was, also, I need to put in here first 10 people who go get the corporate papers get 50% off using the link promo code corporate. The link is in the description. Because the price is going to go up August 1st. So you want to get in now. I'm saying you want to get in now. So let's go ahead and talk about why did I do this. Every morning I wake up with an email from somebody that wants to know what's the best course to get into. What's the best course to get into? And they'll go to Hustlers Kung Fu. They'll go to B School for Hustlers. They will go to the Become, and they're just sitting there like, where do I start? So essentially, you will no longer be able to even get to Hustlers Kung Fu because that URL is now dead. Like if you go to it, let's go ahead and do this real quick. Hustlers Kung Fu University. Let me show you what you're going to see. All right. You go to it. Bam. There ain't nothing. There ain't nothing there. So this is going to end the confusion. This is going to end people trying to go there and go around. So that's done. So you can't. And today we're going to do the same thing to becoming a corporate citizen. And essentially, there's only going to be one place that you can go get this business education. One of the things I want you guys to understand, I'm creating a real business school. Now, what is that? What do I mean when I say that? I am actually starting businesses and giving you real marketplace data from these businesses that I'm currently starting. This is not going to be theory. This isn't going to be, you can do it. It's going to be real information because years and years ago, I really wanted to start a business school. And I started with what was before Hustlers Kung Fu. Essentially, I had videos. It was just kind of thrown together. At the time, that was the best I could do. Now there's much better software. There's much better platforms. So we can go ahead and do this. So this business school is going to be very, very different. Today, I got to go ahead and create the Facebook group. Send that link out. Because you're going to be getting a lot of redundant emails from me because I'm going to make sure that everyone will be able. Actually, I don't have an email list anymore. My biggest email list was Hustlers Kung Fu. I actually still do have that, but essentially that email list is like going on 7 years old. So essentially I'm going to start doing everything from B school, from Hustlers, and it's going to be a real business school. There's going to be real business training. There's going to be real business consults. And when we get into how to develop business credit, 89 Dr. Funk, you should have got an email. If you're at Hustlers Kung Fu, your courses are still there. I actually sent out a login a domain for everyone at Hustlers Kung Fu. So no, I'm not transferring Hustlers Kung Fu folks to B School for Hustlers. I'm not doing that. All right, Anthony Johnson, do your thing, do your thing. So we're going to be creating a business school. We're going to be able to, and there's a lot more things that are going to happen. There's a lot more things that are going to be set up. Like last night, that was a bad decision to do the live from my vehicle using my hotspot. That was that was not a good idea because that didn't go well. But we're going to be talking about um, business stuff. We're going to be talking about, yeah, we're not transferring anyone over because that's like 12,000 people. And essentially, one of the things, and I'm going to say something, the majority of those people came from the free courses. These were people who were not taking action. These were people who were, just for the lack of a better word, taking up space. So I'm going to go a little harder. And once again, you want to get into the corporate papers before August 1st because things are going to get more expensive. And I'm going to tell you why. Oh, yeah. I talked to my student and he doesn't want to be on YouTube. He doesn't believe in social media. He doesn't like social media. He doesn't want to do the YouTube thing. So a lot of you, and this is something that I'm beginning to see. There's a lot of people who watch entrepreneurs like people watch football teams, basketball teams. Like entrepreneurship is like a spectator sport. So a lot of people want to watch successful people. They want to listen to successful people, but they don't want to take action. Because, I hit him up last night. He got back to me this morning. He's like, nah, man, I don't want to do that. A lot of people who are running real businesses, making real money, are not on social media. They don't want to be on social media. And, essentially, the people who are going through the corporate papers, I'm going to ask, early, like, hey, as we build out your business, will you come on the, show and talk about it? Because this has been an issue. When I was doing a lot of YouTube training, helping people with their YouTube channels, a lot of folks were like, don't tell people you're working with me. They didn't want to be out there. They didn't want to be out there, man. Pretty much. Yes, I discontinued the text notifications because people were not signing up for that list. So, yeah, that's gone. But what we're going to get into is some real training. We're going to get into some real stuff. Like, I'm going to give you my system, a thought process of how I put stuff together. Where, there's going to be a lot more training in the corporate papers, and essentially because I'm getting rid of stuff, I will be able to focus more on one thing. I got tired of watching people win. I want to win my goddamn self. Unfollow a lot of pages and stop watching a lot of unnecessary content. Good for you, man. Good for you, man. Good for you. Yes, there's a lot of money to be out here, to be had out here. There's a ton of money to be had out here. So one of the things that we're going to do is get into like business planning. That's one thing that has been missing. And what I mean by that, like, let's go ahead and talk about that process. I was doing my research about the car rental business, and I got really frustrated because there wasn't what I knew to be good content for free. There just wasn't. So what I did is I went ahead, I bought some cars. I bought 4 cars for hire car, and I bought 4 cars for Toro. And I started conducting my own due diligence. I started conducting my own market research. I started to put together my own system. And this is the this is kind of the middle of my 3rd week. And I've learned so much. Because I was having a conversation with my hire car rep, and he actually said this. He said most people who get into the car rental business have no idea what they're getting into, and I was one of them. And I've learned really quick that when you're dealing with an economically fragile population, you need GPS kill switches. Mandatory. You need them. Because essentially, let me give you an example. I've had 1, 2, 3 good renters turn into Yardbirds. Long-term renters. One guy, he rented the car for a month. Then he paid for a week. Then he paid for another week. Then he just went ghost. So we have that situation with good, and by the end of September, all of my nicer inventory will have a GPS kill switches. All of the Range Rovers I'm going to keep will have GPS kill switches. All of the new cars I buy, and let's talk, and this is one thing I've learned. Let's see. We're going to be sending out that information. Essentially, this week is to get everyone added to the B School, the corporate papers platform, and then I'm going to send out messaging and all this other stuff. So we're doing this very systematically because essentially I want to make sure everybody's on that list, and then I can send out several emails because you will get her information as we build out the list. Doing it, yeah, man. I had to change my mindset. Grew up hearing family talk about money, but they never did anything. Made me feel that money was something to talk about. Never took that. That's the thing, man. You got to take action. You got to take action, man. All right. Essentially, let me go ahead and kind of, based on the 3 months of data, like the video this morning, I bought another Porsche based upon data. That car has a recall issue, which Porsche will be fixing not this Friday, but next Friday, and then I should be able to list it. But that car will go out. And what I did, it's on hire car, but I priced it to keep it out the hands of the animals. Because when it first went live, it was at $70. I had like several people who were trying to get that car. And I'm like, no. And they were all 2-day rentals, And I'm like, nope. We ain't doing that. So here is the website. This is where everything is moving towards. All right. So right now, let everyone know that the price is going up August 1st. So you want to go ahead, take advantage of these discounts, take advantage of these early offers, because what I want to do is send out messaging, and I want to put out the proper moves, because essentially I just threw the website. Like, once again, you can use the corporate, you can use the promo code corporate to get 50% off. And because essentially what's going to happen is August 1st, I'm going to adjust the pricing. So this is as cheap as you can get it for one and done. Now, the payment plans, there is no discount for the payment plans. So we will look at that. But we're going to get into some real business training, because essentially once I get a better handle on the car business, like this is happening next week. What I'm going to do is I got a bigger office. I got like an office just to get my car dealership license. And essentially now I know I'm going to start another business. I went ahead and I went to the management, and I'm getting a bigger office next week. Next week, I'm getting a bigger office, and it's going to have Mac Daddy Autos. It's going to have the new company, and it's going to have a place for staff to come and go. The building, and this is something I've seen with this building quite a bit. Fallout, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. So essentially, what I'm going to have with this business is I'm going to have a morning shift and I'm going to have an evening shift, because I have seen frequently that things happen after 7 o'clock. Like the guy who was with his car happened like 8:30. The dead battery happened at 7:30. The guy's car tires went flat. So essentially, I'm going to have a person on staff to handle those issues until about 10 p.m. So, it's going to be very, very different. Fallout. Let's deal with Fallout's question. Do you go over how to exit a business in your program? Do you run the business to the end of life? Fallout. Right now, there's a bunch of people who are talking about exit strategy. And here's what I'm going to teach you to do. I'm not going to teach you an exit strategy. This is something that appeals to people's do nothing lazy side, that, hey, we're going to get to a certain point, we're going to exit, we're going to cash out. I'm not going to teach you an exit strategy. What I'm going to teach you is how to set up a business, how to hire people, how to manage people. Like, this is what I taught one of my friends. She had a business. She wanted to sell. It was a cash cow. I was like, don't sell this business. Don't sell it. This is what you do. So I'm going to teach you the same thing. What you do is you hire someone to run their business, and essentially she hired someone, and then she opened up a restaurant. Essentially, she's living a retired person's life with an active business that puts about $50K a month in her pocket, and she don't have to go there. She don't have to deal with customers because she hired staff. That's what I'm going to teach you. I'm not going to teach you how to, because essentially 87% of the small businesses in America only make like 71,000. So these are not businesses that someone's going to buy and spend millions of dollars for an exit strategy. I feel that a lot of this exit strategy stuff is sophisticated talk, because unless you build a business to run without you, it's going to be real hard to sell. It's going to be impossible to sell. So I'm going to teach you how to set up a business, get it set up, because essentially about 24 months from now, I'm not going to be doing any of this stuff in the car business. My first stage is to hire my first person to handle the check-ins and check-outs and stuff. Then my second stage is to hire people to go to auction, buy cars, and then set up a system where I can be on the other side of the world, yet my business will be making money and putting money in my bank account. I'm not going to teach you an exit strategy because I've seen a lot of people talk about exit strategy, and essentially, why would you sell a business that's making you a lot of money? Fallout, answer that question for me. I appreciate that. Yes, I will have that handle. We will be talking about how to sign up, set things up. We'll be talking because this will be way more comprehensive than the corporate papers. Yes. I'm waiting for Fallout to answer this question. Like, why would you sell a business that's making money? Please answer me that question. Why teach exit when most people don't even start in? That's funny. Yes, we will go over how to do business acquisition. Yes. 89 Dr. Funk, appreciate the $20 super chat. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I've known some people who try to get in quote the simplest business and it didn't work out the way that they thought it was going to work out. I've had 3 people contact me. They tried to get in the pallet business and it wasn't the simplest or easy business. One guy got in the business and he found it very hard to find free pallets, which is the basis of the simplest business, that you just go here and haul off these pallets. He found it very hard to get these free pallets to resell. Very interesting. Omar, that's what I'm going to teach. I'm going to teach you how to set up your business where it runs without you, and that will be your exit strategy. Exactly. Vincent Johnson, the transfer is happening this week. It's going to happen this week. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that, Cool Breeze. Because essentially, like right now, there's a lot of garbage on YouTube. And I'm going to call it what it is. It's garbage. Like, you can do this business. Like, you got people out here setting up 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 companies and don't even have a holding company. They don't even know about the holding company strategy. They're paying way too much in taxes. They're not able to set up a proper corporate structure. And they're just going out here doing all this stuff. And they're getting raped in taxes if they're paying taxes. Thank you, Malik. Thank you. Appreciate it. Yes, financial education is everything. Tim A, let's talk about this. In the future, right now, I have 2 repair shops. I'm going to have 2 more repair guys end of the week. I just go to a shop, and because I'm doing volume, they're giving me deals. So, because essentially, like going back to the tow truck thing, I'm not going to buy a tow truck. I only have 26 cars, minus the one that I'm getting rid of and the one that's wrecked. So I should have 24 cars that I would be able to rent. Well, the one car that is in the shop, like right now, I have 4 cars. The wreck, the car that I got to get rid of, and I have the 2 Camrys, because essentially this is one of the things I see is going to be a struggle, keeping all my cars on the road. I see this because I essentially have the Mini, the 2 Camrys, and the Acura that I'm getting rid of. They're in the shop. So I am down 4 cars that I cannot rent because of various reasons. So yeah, it's going to be really, really interesting. But essentially, this is one of the things I'm going to teach you how to scale a business, which is what I'm doing. I'm scaling a business. I'm going to be talking about this stuff because when I put my car rental course together, it's going to be very different than anything else out there. What's up? What's up? Art of Holding is gone. I'm going to get rid of that site and move everyone to the corporate papers. I will explain all of that in the corporate papers. I will get into all of that in the corporate papers. I will be getting into a lot of stuff in the corporate papers. I'll be getting into expense. I'll be getting into accounting. I will be getting into CPAs. I'll be getting into I'll be getting into the stuff that people don't talk about on YouTube that you need to run your business. Oh, Fat Cat Secrets. That was fun. Because essentially, one of the things I did was I did all that training from the vantage point of starting an internet business, and I did not do any of that training from the vantage point or starting a service business out in the real world. A car rental company is a service business. It's just an extremely expensive service business to start. YouTube, thanks for the super chat. I'm not worried about taxes because of the corporate. Let's go ahead in this conversation. As an American citizen, you have to pay taxes. I pay a lot in taxes. So let's talk about my tax strategy. I'm not going to leave the country. I'm not moving to Puerto Rico. I'm not moving to the Caribbean. I'm not that pressed. So I'm not like losing my mind over taxes. I pay myself $350,000 a year out of my company. Okay. And then the rest of the money, if I choose to take it out, I take it out as dividends, or I can put that money back in the company and pay no taxes. So I'm playing a different game than the nomad capitalist. Go where you're treated best. Essentially, you got a really small percentage of people who fit these categories, and they're putting out this information because this isn't for the average person. The average entrepreneur, if you go ahead and get yourself a good holding company strategy, put yourself on payroll, you ain't really, as an American citizen, regardless of where you are in the world, you have to pay taxes if you didn't know that. Well, Fallout, I think the reason that they're pushing the exit strategy is they're pushing a dream. Start a business, and then cash out and make all this money, and then go hang out on the beach with Big Booty Betty. I think that's one of the things that they're pushing. Because Johnson and Johnson has been around 130 years. Wells Fargo grew during the Great Depression. So essentially, if you go ahead and start a business and build a team and hire people to run it, the minute you do that, guess what? You're retired. Let me say that again. In 24 months, I'm going to retire from the car business. I will still own the car business, but I will be retired from it because I'm going to have I'm putting together a list of titles and stuff. I'm going to have a person to check in and check out cars. I'm going to have a person to be a rover. I'm going to have the hit squad, the people that with the power to turn off the GPS kill switches, go retrieve the cars, bring them back, check them in. Essentially, there's so many things I got to build because every time I hear someone, why would you hire someone? I'm like, once again, I've been doing this 3 months, right? I got to put together processes. I got to put together procedures. I got to put together systems. I got to put together There's so many things I got to do before I can even hire someone. And once again, these fake ass YouTubers have got y'all gassed up that you could do all this stuff without the proper groundwork, and it just ain't going to work. It ain't going to work. Right now, I think everyone is scratching for inventory, Anthony Johnson, because people are spending money. They're spending money. What's up? Direction will come on that Sunday because once again, I got to do this systematically because right now there is really nothing there. You can start reviewing the strategic holding company. Don't do anything just yet, but you can review it so you can familiarize yourself with things you got to do. No, I just pay. See, I pay one tax. I don't pay corporate tax. I have an S corp. With an S corp, the taxes flow to my personal tax form. I don't pay corporate taxes. I only pay personal taxes. Pretty much, James. I'm essentially another thing I'm doing for my intake process is whatever I pay for a car, I'm going to add 2,000 on top of that just for repairs and the fixed stuff to the cost basis of the car, because I am finding out I have a lot of service lights coming on, I have batteries dying, all kinds of stuff because people did not take care of these cars. Yes, we will be getting into trust and everything, but first you got to build the assets before you can get into trust. But yeah, we'll be talking about trust. I'm gonna have to have my own repo service because essentially what's starting to emerge. I don't have hard numbers yet, but what's starting to emerge is I got a 20 to 30% default rate. And what does that mean? These are the people who rent a car and instantly go late. So once I go ahead, because I fully expect by September to have GPS kill switches on all my nicer inventory. And when I get to 50 cars, we're probably going to be turning off 10 cars a month. So what does the turnoff procedure looks like? They're going to have a laptop with the GPS system on it, and they're going to have to be, because essentially they got to be able to turn the car off. They're going to have to take a hotspot so they can activate the car once they get to it and bring it back. So we got to set up that whole procedure. But yeah, there's going to be the hit squad. There's going to be the hit squad. The people go out and get cars and bring them back. Pretty much, pretty much. What's up? Justin Henry, a lot of people don't even want to go because 30 days to 2,500 takes people 2 months to go through, and they don't want to do the work, man. They don't want to do the work. I don't know. I'm going to hear about that today. All right, Davey Lee. We will be talking about that and a lot more. A lot more. Once the stimulus is over, that's a really good question because I have a friend who owns a car dealership and his sales have slowed down. He was selling like 50 cars a month, and last month he sold 20. They've slowed way down. The car rental business is not an S corp. The car rental business is part of an S corp. The car rental business is part of my holding company. Yeah, the scan tool. I'm really looking forward to jumping into that. All right, Justin Williams, we're going to be getting into it. Yeah, because essentially, here's the thing I've come to understand about the car rental business. I am going to have people to go get my cars back. Because essentially, when I got in this business, I didn't understand what I was getting myself into. I had no clue. I did not know. Now that I know what I'm dealing with, I know that I'm gonna have people rent cars and they're gonna stop paying, and we're just gonna turn them off in a hit squad. And essentially, I'm going to have to get a company car. Essentially, I'm going to have to get a company car, company phones. I'm probably going to get an SUV for the hit squad to ride around in. Probably get an SUV to pick up people at the airport. So there's going to be one car that's going to be designated as the company car. I know this may sound crazy. I'm thinking about getting the Range Rover. I don't know. Like, once again, the company car may be the BMW X5M. That might be the company car in time. I don't know. Other day, I was going on Kelly Blue Book. The Porsche has not depreciated a bit. Actually, I could sell that for more than what I bought it for. But I did take an $8,000 hit on the BMW because since I started this car business, I'm driving like I have put 10,000, almost 12,000 miles on that BMW since I had it. I've been rolling out in it. That's my daily driver. So that, or, I may go ahead and get like a Suburban because there's certain things you're going to need, because they're going to need the scan tool. They're going to need like some simple stuff. And this is some that I didn't see. Like when you're buying a lot of cars, you're going to need the pliers, the lockjaw pliers. You're going to need a regular screwdriver, and you're going to need a Phillips head, because you don't know how that license plate's on there. Sometimes they use the Phillips screws. Sometimes they use the slot screws. Sometimes you got to grab the screw around the edges and turn it to put the plate on. All kinds of stuff that I've not seen. But essentially, the hit squad vehicle is going to have all that stuff in it. I got to have a vehicle when I go shopping, because essentially I'm going to my mechanic hit me to this. He said a lot of dealers will pull out the check engine bulb, which is crazy because when you take it to get emissions, it ain't gonna work. Yeah, the kill switches, you gotta have them on the hire car. There's a lot of really good people. Right now, I have 6 people who are doing weekly rentals, and I have not had issues out of them. So essentially, let's talk about the first GPS kill switch story, the girl in the hotel. I was able to get my car back in 24 hours. 24 hours, I got my car back. Next day, it rented out. So I did not lose weeks of rental income. I actually have two situations right now. These cars don't have GPS kill switches, and essentially, I have made $15,000 this month. If it wasn't for the Yardbirds, I would be at 20. These Yardbirds has cost me $5,000. And more importantly, not only do they cost you money by keeping the car, because they're not paying you, they're depreciating the car. Remember what I said about that the service lights and all this stuff, because they're driving these cars, but they're not paying you. So they're costing you money by not paying you. They're costing you money by depreciating the car, and it's costing you money by keeping the car, presenting an opportunity cost where you cannot rent the car out to someone else. So they're costing you money 1, 2, and 3 ways. And it's very irritating. So you got to have these GPS kill switches. Like I said, I got one BMW that doesn't have a GPS kill switch, but it's in the hands of someone. He makes money, so he's paying. But yeah, you got to have those GPS kill switches, because some people will say you need to put a tracker. I feel a tracker is misguided, because let's say you got a tracker on your car and they take it out of state. That's a hump. But if you got it and also with the GPS kill switches, they have something that's called a geo fence. At least I have them on my set. So if anyone was to leave the state, because I can just go ahead and create a map And then once someone goes out of that area, it trips. I get a notification, and then I can turn that car off. Like if they're trying to head out of state, I could just disable, and the time they turn that car off, it won't start up again, and they can't leave the state. So you can do geofences. There's a whole bunch that you can do with the GPS kill switches. We'll be talking about that and a lot more in the corporate papers. All right. Thank you, Dr. Funk. Appreciate it. Because right now we're going to be doing a lot of stuff. Because like essentially, I'm going to go into the details of business startups. I have a business credit card, a secured business credit card, and let's talk about that. I was talking to someone who has a business. I figure he does $1 million a year in revenue, but Wells Fargo's only gave him a $20,000 business credit card. ICE purposely got the 25,000, the max limit, because when that card unsecures, that is going to be my credit limit, and I'm going to get my 25,000 back. I got one of my Wells Fargo cards completely paid off. I paid that off. And the other one, I'm about to max that bad boy out because I got a video that I'm going to do, because I got a lot. I'm approaching like $45,000 in repair costs. Now, some of these repair costs are on the car, and I got to do a breakdown of the repair costs that became because someone did something. Because I feel that maybe 10,000 of these repair costs is because someone did something huge. Oh yeah, I feel that the odometer on that Acura was rolled back. I actually think that. All right, Mark Park, and we're going to get into a lot of credit stuff. We're going to get really deep into credit stuff because you're going to have excellent credit to get any credit product going forward, because what's going to happen is they are going to make it so hard to get credit funding. Like if you have a good credit score and you get good cash flow, you will be able to get credit. But if you have bad credit, you're going to be persona non grata. You're not going to be able to get any credit. You're not going to be able to get any of this stuff. Oh, I mean, once again, I have a pair of lock jaws, and I keep them in the pocket of my SUV because essentially, and this is something else that I found out, all dealers are not up on issuing their tags, because essentially in the state of Georgia, you cannot get a tag on a new car unless it passes emissions, right? I got a car that needs emission and a tag is expired and it's rented. So I told him, it's like, hey, what you got to do is go get emissions, let me know, and then I can get the tag, and then we can put it on the car. And I may have to switch him out of a car. And one of the issues with this car is I did not get the fuses. I will check that today and make sure that the fuses work. But there's a lot that's going into this. Mark Park, one of the things you got to understand with the better secured credit products, they disappear. Wells Fargo used to offer a $10,000 secured personal credit card. It's gone. Because essentially these banks don't make a lot of money off these secured credit products, and that's why you don't see that much of them. Flowmaster, the majority of them, the majority of my cars came with 2 keys. And typically, if it only comes with 1 key, they're not going to provide another key. You will have to buy that. And from my experience, that can be 150 up to $700. It could be a bear. It could be a bear getting these keys. But we'll be going into all that, and essentially, with what I have learned is that the key thing can be important because, like, strange thing, I had a key that was programmed for this Range Rover that I'm getting rid of. I'm not putting a GPS kill switch on this Range Rover. As soon as I get the title, I'm trading out of it. A key I had programmed for it doesn't open up the doors. The original key opens up the doors. So, I have a spare key that I can use to drive it. It will drive the vehicle, but it will not, it'll lock the vehicle, but it will not open up the doors, which is quite annoying. Well, initially I'm going to stick with what's working. By December, I could see myself having 25 BMWs. I can see that happening by December. And by December, it is my goal to have 40 cars, maybe 50, and we will see what that looks like. All right, so that's all for you guys. Once again, if you want to become a corporate citizen, go ahead and get the corporate papers. First live training is Sunday. We get into the weeds on holding company game. And then I explain how the course is going to go and the things that we're going to start and how we're going to set this up. So if you want to save some money, go ahead, get into the corporate papers now. I'm telling you, you're going to love it. It's going to be great. So that's all I got for you guys. I will see you in the next one.